In the southlands of Midgard, in Nuria Natal, along the river Nuria, there is a city with 9 districts, 9 pyramids, and 9 lives. A city that has been defeated and raised 9 times, and each time reborn and rebuilt greater than before. This is Per-Bastet, the City of Cats. And today, we're going to take a look at the book from Kobold Press's Southlands Kickstarter, City of Cats. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Joe. Welcome to the DM Toolbox. Before we get started today, as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, help me build this channel. As of the recording of this video, we are up to 410 subscribers. Don't forget, when we hit 500 subs, I am doing a giveaway of 5th edition Foes, a monster book from Frog God Games. So make sure you subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe, and maybe that book might be yours. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at toolbox_DM and check out my TikTok channel where I do a lot of cool little short videos and post some fun stuff. That's TikTok at DM Toolbox. Okay, everybody, I finally got my Southland books. Now, I did not back this Kickstarter, unfortunately. It was just a fun thing at the time. So I finally got around to getting these books for Southlands. I got the World book, I got the Player's Guide, and I got the City of Cats book. Now, I want to go over the World book, but I only have the standard cover as of right now, and I also purchased the limited edition cover, so I'm waiting for that to come in so I can kind of do a side-by-side review of both of them for you. So that'll probably be next week. But today, I thought it'd be fun to cover this little book, City of Cats. This is kind of a more mini setting. It is specifically a book about this one city in the Southlands, a very interesting city, a very dynamic city. And this book kind of gives us coverage of that city, the different districts. We have maps, we've got people, we've got all sorts of cool stuff. We also get 3 adventures in here, ranging from levels 1 to 5. They can be run together, one after the other, or just, however you want. Just, do one of the adventures if you so choose. And then we got some stat blocks and stuff in the back. So we're going to kind of look through this book today. I'll show you some stuff. And yeah, hopefully you guys like this book because I really, really do. So what is the City of Cats? Well, Southlands in general is based off of real world Africa, so to speak. This particular region, Nuria Natal, is based off of ancient Egypt. So there is the main city in the Southlands, which is based off of Cairo and runs along a huge ley line. Per-Bastet is a city that is based off a real life city from ancient Egypt, which is no longer there. It's ruins, but it was a very similar city where they worshipped cats. They worshipped a goddess there that was a cat goddess. And this whole idea of this city is very much based off of that real life city. In ancient Egypt, there was a goddess named Bastet, and she was this cat goddess, and she was the goddess of a goddess of war and perfumes and jewels and all sorts of stuff. So this city is kind of based off of that idea, and it's really cool. Except since it's D&D, we get actual cat people, and we call it the City of Cats because its main patron god is this same cat goddess. But there are also gnolls here and humans here and many other races that coexist here. That coexistence is somewhat harmonious. There's 9 districts, as I mentioned earlier. And some of those districts, it's very, don't mess around here. This is not a place to screw around and break the law. You'll be severely punished. Other parts, however, especially at night, are very lawless. So there's a lot that goes on here. It's a very dynamic city. Now, I'm going to throw a map up on the screen here of what the city looks like. And one of the really cool features that I like of this city and plays a pretty big part in some of the adventures in this book is the River of Sand. This is, from what I gather, kind of a quicksand type river that flows through the heart of the city and dumps into this pit somewhere. And a lot of times items will get lost in there. They'll get sucked in, gone for not ever, because sometimes they just appear somewhere out in the desert, and they may have even aged more than they should have. Maybe this item was lost 20 years ago, but it looks 200 years old now. And it just shows up in random places. So nobody knows really what happens after it goes down into this pit in the city. So really an interesting feature of the city. So this book kind of goes through, in the first section of this book, it goes through and talks about some of the stuff in the city. It does mention the River of Sand. It mentions some of the features. It talks about the gods. It talks about the leaders and the government and priestesses and all sorts of stuff like that. So there's a lot of good information on the city. And that's basically what this whole first part of the book is a guide to the city, a gazetteer to the city. And it's really, really nice. In the back of the book, there's actually kind of hidden. I didn't notice it at first. So when they come to the back of the book, they kind of have some ads for some of their other stuff. And this ad, particular one here, right at the end, there's a white page. And it actually is a fold-out map of the city. So we get this big old map. And there is a smaller one-page version of this map in the front of the book. But I like the nice big fold-out map. That's really cool. And here's your smaller version of it in the book. And it's broken out into districts and stuff like that. And it's got points of interest. Here's all of our legend of our map and everything. So it's a really neat city. And you can actually see right here is that River of Sand. You can see it kind of sneaking through. So there's a lot kind of going on in this place, like I said. And as we kind of flip through, it's going to get us into the different districts, give us a give us smaller maps of the districts and talk about the different stuff that's going on there. It'll talk about, the military and raids and all sorts of really neat stuff. The next part of this book is the adventures. So once you've kind of gone through and acquainted yourself with the lore and the people and the places in the city, you could really just use this as a setting, make your own adventures, and come up with all sorts of really cool things to do in this city. However, the adventures are a lot of fun. These 3 adventures were actually previously published as Pathfinder Adventures, I believe, and they've updated them for 5th edition. So they're really cool. The first one is a low-level one called Cat and Mouse. So let's take a look at that one. So Cat and Mouse is an adventure for 1st and 2nd level adventurers. Here's our little introduction picture here. And what we have is an adventure where there is this artifact, this magic item that kind of pops up. It comes out of the River of Sand. It is it's called the Grimlacken Eye. And it is this artifact that basically allows you to control cats and feline type entities. So any of the cat people could technically be controlled. So this is a powerful artifact for somebody in the Southlands, in this city in particular. So there's several parties interested in it. There's the guy who actually found it. And then there's this person who's going to hire the adventurers to go and find it. And this person who found it is realizing that he may have bit off more than he could chew. And so there's a whole bunch of kind of stuff going on. I don't want to really ruin the adventure in case there's any players watching. But there's the guy who found it, there's the person who hires you, and there's actually a third party who's interested in it. So it's a cool little adventure. You get to do some fun stuff. And none of these adventures are overly long. Like I said, they're made to be maybe a 1 or 2 shot type of deal. So a lot of fun though. The next adventure is a really cool one. So this one, there's this whole festival in the city of Cats where it's like this pig festival. It's called the Day of Pigs, and farmers bring all their hogs and everything, and they win prizes and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, there's this big thing where they kill a bunch of the pigs and everybody eats, and it has this big celebration. Well, there's this one guy who has got his 3 beautiful daughters, and he's on his way to the festival, and he's going to be presenting one of his daughters to this suitor and all this stuff. And there's this priestess kind of doing this whole ritual thing. And then there's this mysterious guy who comes along and corrupts the ritual, and the girls turn into pigs, except they still have their hair. One of them has brown hair, one's a redhead, and one's a blonde. And so they got these 3 pigs with hair, and they run off into the crowd. Now this man is devastated. One way or another, our adventurers get involved and try to go and find this guy that caused this to make him undo it. So fun little adventure to be had there. The third adventure is called Grimlacken. This ties back into our first adventure where we had this gem. This gem was actually kind of known, I think one of its nicknames was the Cat's Eye. So turns out that this gem came from a larger magical item, an idol. And there is this tomb beneath the river of sand that it came from. And this guy got it out of there. When he did not make it out alive, and the gem got lost, and that's how the other dude found it. So this one Knoll woman is trying to find out more about it, and she goes to this scholar who knows about this stuff. He figures it out, like where it came from and that there's this entrance. He tries to get in there himself and dies. And she hires the PCs to basically not only try to find the entrance to the tomb and do this, but when the guy died, his body was taken to be prepared for burial. But there's this messed up guy in the city. He's kind of a sultan or something that supposedly eats the bodies of the dead. So the adventurers show up to try to recover the body, and there's all this stuff going on. Eventually, once that kind of part is done, you have to find this rhyme. There's this riddle that they have to solve. There's 2 parts of it that they have to find in order to figure out how to get into the tomb, and then from there they can go in, try to find the idol, explore, get some other treasures, and hopefully get out alive, because this thing is a deadly place to be, filled with undead and all sorts of manner of baddies. So this final adventure kind of is like a 4th to 5th level. The 3 little pigs is like a 2nd to 3rd level kind of adventure. So a lot to choose from here. And these are 3 really fun adventures. Like I said, none of them are overly long. But I would say this last one's probably the longest of them, but definitely really cool. The last part of this book is stat blocks. We have a bunch of monster and NPC stat blocks to tie into the City of Cats. So a lot of cool stuff in here. City watch captains and some undead guardians and all sorts of cool stuff. There's also at the very end a little appendix with some magic items in it. And what I noticed at least a glance at these magic items, there's not a ton of them, but I believe they are also in the Vault of Magic, which I reviewed last week. So if you're like looking at this and go, wait a minute, I've seen this before, you may have seen it in the Vault of Magic. So I'm not 100% sure they're all in there, but some of them are. But that is it. I mean, that's this book. It's about 197 pages. It is a really cool book with really, really cool art. I'll flip through here and just show you a couple more of the images, because I really do like the art that Kobold Press does. They really do have some great stuff in here, and it's just a lot of fun. So City of Cats definitely seems like one of those books where if you're looking to start something in the Southlands, it could be a great little starting point. It could be a fun place to kind of just introduce your party to this unique region of Midgard, and from there start branching out. There's so much to see in the Southlands. We'll dig more into the Southlands in another video when I go over the world book, because it's definitely worthwhile. I'll probably cover the Southlands Player's Guide at the same time, because this is just a smaller soft cover with some player options in it. One other thing to mention is if you are doing stuff in the Southlands, if you go to Kobold Press's site, I have a link in the description below where you can get these books. There's also a Southlands styled Midgard character sheet. There's a normal Midgard character sheet there too, but there's a really cool Southlands styled one. So if you're looking for that little bit of flavor for your table, you can download those. They are free. Really, really cool. But yeah, head over to Kobold Press, check out the link in my description, grab these books if you can. There's PDF forms, there is the hardcover forms, and the World Book also will have the limited edition, which again I'll show you guys next week. But yeah, definitely worth a good look. I believe currently City of Cats may be out of stock in a hardcover at the Kobold Press store. I don't know when they're going to restock, but you may check Amazon or something like that for it as well. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you like City of Cats. I hope you like this book. I hope you like this video. If you do, don't forget to click the like button. Help me out. Don't forget to subscribe. Maybe you can win a book. Hopefully I'll do more giveaways as well in the future. I really do want to try to do giveaways every so often. Maybe I'll get to do some Kobold Press giveaways as well, because they're one of my favorite publishers. I love their books, and I want to spread the Midgard love as much as I can. So yeah, hit that all up, and until next time, roll those dice.